Hello guys, welcome to another episode of Operations and Supply Chain Management. Congratulations guys, we are just 2 classes away from completing this whole semester. So kudos to you, do what you are doing, right? Work hard. And let's start talking about reorder points and safety stock within Chapter 11, Managing Inventory. Now, we said in a continuous review system, there are 5 core assumptions. What were they? The demand is constant, right? The lead time is constant. The item price, right? The unit price is known and fixed. The annual holding cost is known and fixed. And the annual ordering cost is also known and fixed. These were 5 elements that had to be kept constant and fixed for the EOQ model, the economic order quantity model, to be valid, right? But we also talked about the limitations of this model. The first one here in reorder points and safety stock, we look at how we could make the model a little bit more realistic by tweaking the dial on the demand and the lead time. Okay, because the demand and the lead time are rarely constant or fixed, right? So let's take into account that part of reality and go ahead and tweak that dial on those 2 elements from the 5 assumptions. So let's say the demand is not constant and the lead time is also variable. So now the reorder point from the graph that we drew in the class changes, right? Because with the longer lead time, you have to order well in advance, so earlier than before, right? So then in the earlier reordering point in time, right, the reorder point in terms of the quantity or the level of inventory becomes higher, right? So when you order earlier, you order when you have more inventory, right? So that much becomes your safety stock, okay? And the level of safety stock you manage are affected by 5 different elements, namely the variability of demand and lead time, and the average length of lead time, the average demand, and the desired service level. Now, the service level affects the level of safety stock, so that when you desire higher service level, it means that you want to be able to serve your customers better, right, with more inventory at hand as the demand fluctuates, right? So in that case, you would need to manage more safety stock in your inventory. Okay, so we did talk about this a little bit in the classroom when we were talking about the EOQ model and its limitations. So read up on that. And the second tweak that we can add is quantity discounts. Okay, we talked about how Stop and Shop and many grocery stores or product sellers or manufacturers offer discounts when you buy more than 1 unit, right? You get 3 bottles of Gatorade, you get 1 out of them free, maybe, right? 6-pack of beer gives you better unit price per can than buying, individually, right? So those are classic examples of quantity discounts. Now, when we take into account those quantity discounts, the formula or the equation for the total cost changes. We now have 3 elements or 3 components to it, right? The 2 components was the total annual holding cost, and the second was total annual ordering cost. Now the third element, right, the third component becomes the item cost, right? So we take the annual demand and multiply that by the unit price, which can now vary, right? Now the sum of 3 components become the total annual cost. Okay, so we compare so we first calculate the EOQ, and then we compare that EOQ with, calculate the EOQ, right? Let's start this again. Calculate the EOQ first, come up with the total annual cost at the EOQ level, and then compare the outcome or the total annual cost incurred at each of the price break with quantity discount. Okay, so when your supplier provides quantity discount at 1,000 units, 2,000 units, and then 3,000 units, and then you calculate your EOQ and see if the resulting total annual cost at those four levels of quantity, right, ordering quantity, and come up with those four resulting annual costs and compare them. And if one of them results in lower cost, right, at higher quantity than the EOQ, you go with that order quantity. Okay, so that is how we compare the order quantity with quantity discounts. And guys, I think that's it for today. Okay, this was another short section. Now on Monday, we will cover single period inventory systems. We already also talked about the idea behind the single period inventory systems, but then the details we will leave until Monday. Okay, Monday we will also talk briefly, lightly on the bullwhip effect and the inventory positioning, how the dynamics work. Okay, so that, with the prospect of the two additional sections, will conclude our coverage for this semester in operations and supply chain management. Okay, so we're nearly there. Okay, just a little bit more grit, and we will be enjoying Christmas before you know it. Okay, all right then. Happy reading. Good luck, and I'll see you in classroom and in another, final, I guess, video. Okay, bye.